Good morning, dear friends. Here we are for another study of the book Right Path by the Spirit Emmanuel through the mediumship of Francisco Candido Xavier. What a blessing to be with you this morning. We are here nourishing your soul everywhere you can find us on YouTube and Facebook of both Kardec Radio and the Spirit Society of Richmond. I broadcast from Central Virginia. My name is Sheyne Martin. If we haven't met before, every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are blessed with the opportunity of being with you discussing this marvelous book that was published in 1971. And the author of this book is Emmanuel, and the medium is Francisco Candido Xavier. And today's chapter is chapter 40, that Emmanuel titled Before the Earth. Remember, the name of the book is Right Path. So the right path towards where, dear friends? Towards you and I growing as a spirit, using the experiences you and I have on this planet in order to improve ourselves while serving and helping those all around us. Welcome. Leave your comments, leave your questions. Thank you so much for being with us. Emmanuel says in this chapter, would we have been placed on the earth's orb to avoid collaborating in the progress of the world when the world provides us with all the possibilities necessary for our own progress? So he starts the chapter with a question. So, dear friend, why are you here on the earth? Are you avoid collaborating in the progress of the world? Or are we the ones collaborating, working together with one another, with the discarnate friends around us, with the incarnate friends around us? Are we truly co-creating in goodness with the Christ? When we discuss these chapters, we're not here to shame, blame, and feel guilty. We are here to see self-renewal, self-evaluation, because if we know that our actions are not aligned with God's laws, then we can change the actions. So why are we here today? Are we here just to learn, to care for our own family members and friends, to only worry about us, about our things, our vacations, our time, our work, my? Or are we here to transcend our own self and help everyone around us? That's a question. He's saying, would we have been placed here to avoid collaborating when the world provides us with all the possibilities necessary for our own progress? So here is another teaching. The world is allowing you and I to have the experiences that you and I need for our own progress. And how do we improve? We improve by learning. We improve by, of course, we improve by learning. We go to school to learn things so that we can use that to improve the life of everyone around us, to have meaningful employment and work. We also can improve by serving and doing things for others. We can progress when we nourish our souls with this content and we do a reflection. And more than knowing about this book, we want to apply it to our daily lives. Most importantly, we learn and improve through relationships. Remember, you have a reincarnatory plan, you have a mission, you have things you have to accomplish. In this earth, a world of trials and expiations, as you can find in the Gospel according to Spiritism, the different types of worlds in the universe. We're not here just to enjoy. We are here at this moment on the earth to serve and help, because when we transition to a world of regeneration, we're still going to have a lot to do. We're not going to go through decades of transition in order to be a happy world. That's not yet what a planet of regeneration is. We are still having a lot of suffering, a lot of expiatory things to do. This is a transition where you and I and all of the beings of the world are tired of all the evil around us and tired of all the suffering we incur into one another's life. And as a convalescent collective humanity, we can breathe and start building, as long as it takes, from regeneration to a happy world. Happy worlds, divine worlds, that is not what a planet of regeneration is. That's where Christ-like beings live. You and I are still in need of coming back to the world and reincarnating many times. So what are we collaborating in terms of collaborating with the progress of the planet, so that when we reincarnate again, God willing, many, many lifetimes from now, remember, the transit is a transition phase. It's not overnight that we're going to progress. It's each and every day making the commitments to align our actions with the good. So let's continue on our reflection. He will say, many companions set themselves aside by the sides of the harvest in instinctive rest, claiming that they cannot bear the so-called endless problems of the world. They desire outward stability and harmony in order to be satisfied on the planet, on the earth, when harmony and stability must dwell within us, so that our obligations towards our neighbors are properly fulfilled. So are we the ones sitting aside and saying, well, I can't really do anything. There's so much suffering. There's so much working. Or are we stepping in to the field and we are sowing good seeds of goodness so that the harvest can be of goodness? Are we the ones seeing so much and not filtering our news and media feeds so that all the suffering comes through and we feel unable to do something? The key is one activity of goodness each and every day. And then you and I can grow and we can harvest the good. He's saying here, those companions desire outward stability and harmony. So when we look at ourselves and outwardly we look beautiful, we look all put together. We have social media worthy pictures of our house and our lives, and we project an image of outward stability. We want to show to others that we are okay. However, he's saying harmony and stability must dwell within us. And how can we get to that harmony and stability? When we fulfill our obligations towards everyone around us, not only our direct family members of blood or spiritual ties, but all of those. You are in a community where you are needed, where your contribution is valid, where God allowed you to be. Therefore, you need to work for the entire earthly community. Let's think through, if we are going to reincarnate in many different places, depending on which experience we have to learn, we need to collaborate with the progress of all, because today we are comfortable. We have everything we need. We have way more than we need. If we look through all we have in the United States compared to the rest of the world, what if next life we are reincarnating on a place of war, of destitute, of lack of? So when we collaborate with the progress of all, harmony and stability can dwell within us, so that our obligations toward our neighbors can be properly fulfilled. He says, in the world that at times is a house undergoing renovations, with the law of changing presiding over all movements through metamorphosis and educational difficulties. So the world is a changing place. When you do a renovation on a house, everything is upside down. There's a law of change. And sometimes we have to go through change in order to have a better outcome in the end. He will say progress is a way forward, or a path that advances us. Hence the imperative that we count on oppositions and obstacles every time we engage in the building of general happiness. Dear friends, this place where we are today, the earth, the beautiful blue dot in the immensity of the cosmos, is a blessed orb under the realm, under the guidance of our Master Jesus. But we are still beings who need to undergo through experiences harvesting what you and I sowed many, many lifetimes ago. And even some people are still incurring in debts today by doing the things that they do. So we need to, when we try to build general happiness by being here listening, by doing your own messages and prayers at your own groups and homes, it's imperative that we count on obstacles, because we are going against the flow of the world. When we give all of ourselves, we take time from our enjoyment and family members and friends and our own activities to build the general happiness of others. We will encounter obstacles. We'll have people will say, "Why are you going there on a Saturday and a Sunday? Why are you doing this when you could take your kids to the playground, when you could go indulge in some self-care," right? So there are obstacles. Yet, he says, omission is a stop, meaning retreat. We cannot omit ourselves in building the general happiness, because today we have, tomorrow we may not have, as we're going to see here. Let us understand the position of workers under the pressures of crisis that renew us. So we are here to work towards the betterment of all, towards loving one another unconditionally all over the planet. Now, there's ephemeral qualities to the life that you and I live here. So, how do I know that? That's the next paragraph. It says, we all face permanent renewal at every step of life. Not everything we had yesterday that we consider to be certain in the outer frames of our experience continues to be certain in the hours of today. The ideals and objectives continue the same to define our aspiration and work. However, instruments and conditions, structures and circumstances have been changed. So today, we have the certainty of nourishing our souls with Kardec Radio. But Kardec Radio wasn't here 20 years ago, but we are here gladly today, for example. The things you and I take for granted today in our own lives may not be there tomorrow. However, ideals and objectives can continue the same. If your ideal is to improve the conditions of the community you're in, whatever you were planted by God to be, those ideals and objectives are still the same. You still have the position of a worker, and by working, you can open up to the inspiration and ideas that the good spirits can give, so that you can use all of the resources of the world that can be at your hands in order to progress. By helping and serving everybody around you where you are, giving fruit where you're planted by God can allow you to progress. So when you're serving others, you are serving yourself by proxy. Now, the next paragraph is about collaboration. Emmanuel ends this chapter by saying, Earth, however, asks us for cooperation in raising the good of all. Did you know that? Earth is constantly telling us there is a need in your community, there is a need around the world. Can you go without certain comforts so others can have the minimum in this world? It's about time, dear friends, that we look ourselves as agents of change wherever we are. If you're spiritually awakened enough to be here today, and God allowed you the opportunity to be here, inspired you to be here, it's our duty to know that Earth is asking for our collaboration in raising the good of all, not just of our own selves and our own family members and friends. There's nothing wrong to want to raise the goodness of your household, but we can do that. We can align that desire with, if I have, if my family has, if my children have, I can also help the family of others, the family of children have. Because guess what? When they don't have, it affects you as well. The law of society is for everyone. When there's suffering all around the world, because we are vibratory beings and thought is life, when their suffering is felt, the entire earth is vibrating on that too. And as we know, we are more awake and we are more aware of the needs of others, we can give off of ourselves, and then we can be of service to everybody. Isn't that a beautiful ending? He says, in sum, we are called to live in the world in order to understand it and to improve life in and around us, serving the world without ceasing to be ourselves, and seeking to move ahead without losing pace with our contemporaries so that we do not run the risk of going too far ahead of them. So we are called to live in the world in order to understand and improve life in and around us. We're not here just to enjoy ourselves, just to do things for us. We're called to live here, understand the laws that rule this earth, this physical beings, this table of elements in chemistry, these laws of physics, and then we understand it, we improve it, we improve life in and around all of us. That's why you're here. And in the meantime, we come here together with a family. We learn to love one another. We redress past mistakes. We come back to lands where we have to serve, because who knows what we did in our previous lives. Thank God we have the forgetfulness of the past so that we can focus on today. Where am I today? Where are you today? What is life asking you to cooperate on today? Because the world is giving us the resources we need to progress. Therefore, our gratitude to Mother Earth, our gratitude to the good spirits that guide us each and every day. And we ask that God grant us the opportunity of being together another time. We also ask that God bless our steps today, wherever we are in the world, and inspire us to help each and every being that we come across. And dear friends, I hope that I can be with you again another time with another chapter of the book Right Path by the Spirit Emmanuel. But until then, I wish you many, many blessings. Stay well, stay safe, take care, and if you can, care for another person around your neighborhood. Until then, God willing, many, many blessings.